Right now on Live at 5, high schoolers in Iowa City are hoping a video will help kids who have been diagnosed with cancer. Good evening, everybody. I'm Joy Howe. Thanks for being with us tonight. Karen is off. We're going to get to that story in just a moment, but first, new tonight at 5, the Washington County officer who shot and killed a Wellman man earlier this month will not face criminal charges. The DCI tells CBS 2 News Sergeant Kirk Bailey's actions were justified. Earlier this month, officers went to Martin Hammond's home after somebody called 911 saying Hammond was suicidal. Officers couldn't find him, so they left, but then hours later were called out again when flames were spotted coming from Hammond's home. When they got there, they say they found him holding a gun and a torch. Authorities say when Hammond wouldn't drop the gun, Sergeant Bailey shot him, and DCI says the officer took the correct actions. Federal officials are filing gun charges against 4 men arrested near the scene of a deadly shooting. Now, the shooting happened back on September 10th on G Avenue Northwest in Cedar Rapids. 1 man was shot and taken to the hospital where he later died. Shortly after the shooting, police found a vehicle the witnesses said they saw at the scene. Court documents show officers found 1 gun in that SUV and another nearby. The 4 men in the SUV are facing federal charges for those weapons. Right now, nobody has been charged in the shooting. A Palo man faces charges after a police chase this morning in Waterloo. Just after midnight, officers tell CBS 2 News they tried to pull over Nicholas Campbell Scott. They say Campbell Scott sped away and then crashed at West 2nd Street and Western Avenue. Investigators say he then tried to run off, but they caught up with him. Officers say he had 2 loaded guns that he tried to throw away while he ran. He is now in jail facing multiple charges. Another afternoon of bright skies, but will that lead into a clear Friday night? Let's see if we can expect a fantastic football evening with Justin Roberts.
Well, Joy, it should be just perfect out there for anything you got planned outside. Maybe you're going to watch football. Maybe you're going to fire up the grill. Mid-70s next hour. Will cool down to the mid-50s overnight tonight. Right now, still a few clouds out in Iowa City. It's 76 degrees there. We take a peek at some other temps. 74 Waterloo, 73 in Oldwine, 76 in Cedar Rapids, and 73 in Dubuque. The winds out of the east and somewhat north, about 6 to 12 miles an hour. There's statewide satellite radar. Still some clouds here across our neck of the woods with a few little scattered showers north of West Union, kind of back towards Calmer. But the planner says the clouds will move on. 67 at 8, 60 at midnight, 54 as you start the day early tomorrow morning. We'll peek at that Friday night football forecast, and we'll have the Hawkeye forecast for Saturday's game down in Iowa City coming up in just a bit.
Justin, thank you. It was the announcement that shocked the country this morning from Washington all the way to here in eastern Iowa. House Speaker John Boehner is resigning from Congress. He said he woke up this morning and told his wife simply that today was the day. He then told his staff and then the nation. Boehner says he thought about retiring at the end of the year, but many feel turmoil within his own party might have forced him to make the decision earlier. Here at home, the chair of the Linn County Republicans says she was one of the ones shocked, but not upset.
I certainly wasn't expecting it, but I can tell you there's celebration going across the Republican Party. The vote last November was saying we now have a majority to do something, and the frustration is nothing has been done. I would like to see someone step up who has leadership qualities as opposed to dictatorial qualities.
Golding went on to tell us she sees the timing right in the middle of presidential campaign season as a positive thing. She thinks it will energize the Republican Party. Boehner will leave Congress at the end of October. We don't yet know who's going to take his place. But at least one presidential candidate says she is looking forward to a new leader. Carly Fiorina was in eastern Iowa today, and she agrees with the Linn County chair and says that she thinks Boehner is doing the right thing by stepping aside. Her comments come as she surges in the polls. CBS 2 News reporter Kevin Barry caught up with her at a town hall in Dubuque today and explains how she's handling this jump. Kevin.
Joy, the same week that the former Iowa frontrunner Scott Walker dropped out of the race altogether, Carly Fiorina is still riding that 12-point bump into eastern Iowa this weekend in the latest CNN polls. She's been in the race for more than 4 months, and she made her candidacy official way back at the beginning of May, and she was in Iowa soon after. She says that even she was surprised by the boost that she got.
Actually, I was expecting it to take longer, if you want to know the truth. And the reason for that is when we launched in May, very few people knew who I was. They never heard my name. They didn't know I was running for president. It takes a long time to introduce yourself to people.
Fiorina will be in Iowa for the entire weekend. She's in Dubuque tonight. She will be in Iowa City with Hawkeye fans on Saturday. Coming up later tonight on the CBS 2 News 10 at 10, see why she says that her international business experience is better than almost every other candidate's foreign policy experience in the race so far. Kevin Barry, CBS 2 News, live at 5.
Kevin, thank you. It was a solemn moment this morning as Pope Francis stopped at Ground Zero praying for the victims of the 9/11 terror attacks. He also visited the United Nations and appealed to world leaders for peace. Along the way, tens of thousands of followers tried to get just a brief glimpse of the Pope. This weekend, Pope Francis will wrap up his U.S. trip in Philadelphia, where he'll lead the World Meeting of Families. A familiar name is trending tonight. Most of us know him as Bill Nye the Science Guy. He is joining in the political discussion of pro-life versus pro-choice.
When it comes to women's rights with respect to their reproduction, I think you should leave it to women. It's really, you cannot.
Now, Nye goes on. He's released an educational video, and he says there's a deep lack of scientific understanding on how babies develop. He says the argument based on egg fertilization doesn't make sense. He encourages viewers to do their own research. Iowa men's basketball coach Fran McCaffrey is headed to Capitol Hill. He'll be there Tuesday to push Congress to make the fight against cancer a top priority. McCaffrey is personally affected by cancer. His son Patrick was diagnosed with the disease last year and had to have tumors removed from his thyroid. Coach McCaffrey is also involved with Coaches vs. Cancer, which is a group that gives coaches the chance to work with larger nonprofits who work in the fight against cancer. And Iowa City High School hopes a video they have on YouTube will get worldwide attention. CBS News reporter Melanie Moore is here to tell us who's behind the video and what their message is, Melanie.
Yeah. Joy, the West High Dance Marathon raises money and awareness for families affected by childhood cancer, and those families are right here in the corridor. Just a few days ago, Avery Flick celebrated her 2nd birthday.
Let's go check on your mac and cheese? Okay.
She celebrated with family, pizza and cake, but one gift this family still hopes for is her survival.
Avery is battling stage 4 embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a abdominal cancer. You all done?
The Battle of Avery and other children like her has left a mark on some Iowa City high schoolers.
I met her and she is so sweet and very strong, and she inspires me a lot.
The West High students are finding ways to help those kids and their families.
We took these pictures and I put them together into a video that was played at the volleyball game.
That's just one of the events the students put together for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. The video then posted on YouTube also spreads the word about the dance marathon in January.
We can put Avery's name on our hand, or Flash's name on our hand, or Drew's name on our hand. What that means to me is that my kids here, they know that this is much bigger than them.
The money goes to help families whose children are being treated for cancer at UIHC, like Avery Flick.
It's a hard enough thing to go through, but to have the support of not just family and friends, but of entire communities has really helped.
If you would like more information on how to support the West High Dance Marathon, we have that on our website, cbs2iowa.com. Melanie Moore, CBS 2 News, live at 5.
Melanie, thank you. And coming up here on Live at 5, 2 rare sights for the price of 1. What you need to know to be able to catch a glimpse of history this weekend. Meantime, it's a live look outside at I-380 near the Iowa River on this Friday evening. A beautiful night and Justin, hopefully a lovely weekend in store as well.
Oh, it should be. No big changes in that weather first forecast, at least anytime soon. We'll take a look at our Friday night football forecast and our Saturday Hawkeye forecast right here live at 5.
It's rare, it's happening this weekend, and you don't want to miss it. CBS 2 News reporter Marissa Scott explains why Sunday night you might want to let the kids stay up a little late to see a spectacular sight.
A supermoon, total eclipse in prime time. I mean, What more could you ask for?
It's a spectacular sight that hasn't happened for more than 30 years. On Sunday night, stargazers will look up to the sky and see a supermoon and a lunar eclipse.
There's always something special about hearing that it's a supermoon.
John Leeson with the Eastern Iowa Observatory says they'll be open Sunday night, so families and couples can come out, lay on the grass, and watch history.
Bring the kids and the family and you come out and watch the eclipse for a while, and then you can look through some telescopes and we'll look at some interesting things that there are in the sky.
When the moon is at its closest point to Earth, that's called supermoon. It looks bigger in appearance and is about 30% brighter. A lunar eclipse is when the orbit of the moon and Earth cross, and they line up with the sun, casting a shadow over the moon.
This is an unusual phenomenon to have both the full moon eclipsing and being at the closest point in the orbit.
But there's always one question he says people bring up. Why is the moon red?
It's really the same reason the sky's blue. But if you think about what the sun looks like when it's just above the horizon, it's an orangey red. And the reason for that is because all the light you're getting is the light that's not scattered. So the light from the sun has all the colors in it, but the blue is scattered out and you're left with the red. And so in the eclipse, the shadow of the Earth is a reddish color, and that's what's lighting up the moon when it's in the shadow of the Earth.
He says the total eclipse will last about an hour and a half, and it's the perfect time to snap a picture.
Come out and enjoy the night.
Covering the corridor in Cedar Rapids, Marissa Scott, CBS 2 News.
Well, the observatory will open at 7, and they encourage you to bring the blankets and the chairs. Make it a family event, because the next time that both of these events will happen again is 2033.
Yeah.
So if you miss it,
Long time.
you gotta wait.
And I'll probably forget between now and then.
Probably.
Let's take a look. Marissa showed us earlier, but we'll kind of show you again how this all works. Beautiful graphic for you. It's out of this world, Joy. You can see. Last time we had it was 1982. I wasn't born yet.
Wow.
2 years before I was born.
You look good.
Thank you. And now you can see it passes by. It's going to be we've got prime weather for it. Not only are we going to have clear skies for the weekend, it's just going to be really nice weather-wise too. So 2033, if you miss it this weekend, set your calendar. A few more days from now.
I'll put the iPhone on now.
There
right
you go.
now.
Put it on your iPhone. Remind yourself. Let's take a peek as to what's happening. We come back here to Mother Earth. We'll see a few passing clouds as we head through the evening time tonight. The temps will start to cool down a bit. In fact, we'll go down to the 50s as we head through the overnight hours. A great looking weekend. Upper 70s, sunny. Great looking weather. In fact, the little clouds we're seeing now will continue to thin out as the night turns into the day tomorrow. Let's show you some numbers. 67 at 8 this evening. 57 at 4 a.m., about 54 degrees as we start the day tomorrow. And then we start to warm back up, upper 70s to almost 80 as we head towards our Saturday afternoon. In Iowa City right now, still kind of hazy out there. 76 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 7, the barometer 3018. Temps on the board for you. We got 72 in Decorah, 73 in Olwine. Still some of the warm spots are where we're seeing some of those thickest of clouds. You see Cedar Rapids, Iowa City both at 76 degrees there. 77 in Monticello right now. Mid-70s in Tama, 74 in Waterloo. So around the Midwest, look at the warm weather. You see 70s in Rapid City. 80s and 90s back to the northwest of that. That's passing to the north, though. We won't see that. What we will see is just some gradually cooling temperatures. In fact, as we look at our highs tomorrow, back to the upper 70s we'll go. 76 in Sioux Falls, 79 Omaha, and 76 in Minneapolis. So all around us, the weather is looking great. A few little scattered showers around Wichita back to Omaha, but as you can see, the majority of the moisture has kind of dried out as that low continues to move up towards the north and the east, dragging this cold front through, and that frontal boundary does start to cool us down just a little bit, but no moisture is expected. High pressure drifts ever so close, keeps us nice, dry, and sunny as we head through our Saturday, Sunday, and our Monday. So here's a quick peek at Predictor, and as you see, some thin clouds this evening. Into the overnight, those will move out, and mainly sunny skies looking A-OK for the day tomorrow. Tonight, high school football looking just fine. Low 70s, winds out of the southeast at 4 to 8 miles an hour. We'll still see a few clouds from here to there, but not a lot to keep us from any good view, certainly. Great night tonight. Temps eventually dropping to those mid-50s. Clearing sky, cooler temps, a calm night with an east breeze at 4 to 8 miles an hour. There you see about 54 at Charles City, 55 in Manchester, 54 in Dubuque, and 55 around Iowa City. Tomorrow's forecast looks a-okay. Sunny, comfortable, great. East and south breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. 76 in Decorah, 79 Old in Manchester, upper 70s in Cedar Rapids, and almost, in fact, just a little over 80 as we head into Washington. 3-day picture takes us through the weekend with 80 on Monday, still some sunshine. I promised you a football forecast, not only high school, but college football tomorrow. The Hawkeyes are taking on the Mean Green. I'm assuming that's what North Texas is. They're green anyway. 79 degrees there tomorrow in Kinnick. Not a bad day at all. We stay dry through Monday. We do start to bring some rain showers in as we head through Tuesday. Scattered showers then Wednesday, Thursday into Friday as temps start to cool down to the lower 70s by the end of next week. Joy?
Perfect weather, Justin. All right, thank you. And if you're planning to enjoy these lovely fall afternoon outdoors, then you want to be careful what kind of hammock you're lounging in. Thousands of hammock stands are being recalled because hooks that attach the hammock can bend and break. The recall affects nearly 14,000 destination summer stands sold at Bed Bath & Beyond. 13 people have been injured. The stands were sold between March 2014 and July of this year. Still ahead tonight on Live at 5, libation lessons. The unique way this corridor business is blending the science of beer with the art of brewing. And a live look at the Pentacrest tonight on a gorgeous Friday night TGIF, everybody. Much more Live at 5 when we come back. If you like a little beer with your football, you'll like this. There's a brand new brew lab opening up near Iowa City. CBS News reporter Steffi Lee brings us an inside look at the science behind the suds.
Right now, Iowa City doesn't have its own brewery, but one father-son duo is hoping to change that. Owner Drew Letcher of the Iowa City Brew Lab says he and his son fell in love with the science of brewing years ago. He's channeling that passion for brewing into this company. Letcher says the idea is to bring high-quality craft beer to people. He says the company will experiment with several recipes to create specialty beers.
There's a lot of arts here. The craft beer, craft food goes together. I mean, Iowa City is kind of a melting pot for lots of different types of food and lots of different artists. So I think, you know, having a craft beer establishment will be a great fit.
Once construction is complete, he hopes to welcome customers through these doors by mid-October. Covering the corridor in Iowa City, Steffi Lee, CBS 2 News.
And taking a live look tonight at some traffic. This is I-80 near Williamsburg. Looks like things are moving smoothly on the interstate there as folks head into their weekend, and we'll send you off into yours with a forecast next.
Here's the CBS Evening News tonight. No one was expecting this from Pope Francis's visit. The Speaker of the House, John Boehner, resigns. We'll have more on how his private meeting with the Pope influenced his decision and who will likely succeed him as head of the House. Plus, tens of thousands have poured into the streets for Pope Francis's last day in the Big Apple. Those stories tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Finally tonight, it was the perfect day for Truman Elementary kids to take a run from school to Veterans Memorial Stadium. And once they got there, the students got a tour of the ballpark and got to see the behind the scenes of it all. The day was all part of the John Cushing Relay for Life 5K, which honors the late John Cushing, who was on the board of directors for the Colonels, and someone whose work and memory is being kept front and center for these kids to learn about.
We talk about his life and the 4 things that were important to him. His family and friends were number 1. His community service was 2. His love of baseball, the Boston Red Sox, was 3. And his love of running. So we incorporate all of that into the 4 aspects of our run today.
After their relay and tour, the kids got to head out onto the field and play a little wiffle ball. And from the diamond to the football field, whatever you're playing tonight, good weather for it.
Great weather for anything, really. I mean, you could go bowling in the front yard, and it'd be great weather for it. Let's take a look.
Set up my bowling kit.
Why not? 72 in Decorah, 73 Dubuque right now. Waterloo says 74, and we're at 76 in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. We'll just slowly cool from there. 67 at 8 this evening, 54 early tomorrow morning. Friday night football is looking A-OK. There we see the overnight temperatures for tonight, mid-50s eventually. And the day tomorrow, looking great. 76 in Decorah, 79 Manchester, 78 in Cedar Rapids. Let's show you that football forecast, then we'll give you a 7-day forecast to wrap it all up. There we see low 70s at kickoff, southeast breeze at 4 to 8. There's your 7-day dry until next Tuesday.
All right, Justin, thank you. And thank you for watching, everybody. We leave you with a live look at history in the making, the Pope there in New York. We'll see you tomorrow.